Welcome to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski. We talk a lot about hot flashes and hormones, but what about the brain during menopause? Many women worry about memory lapses, brain fog, or focus issues, yet few realize how closely these symptoms connect to hormonal changes in midlife. So, what's fact? What's myth? And what truly supports brain health? Today, we're exploring the science of menopause in the mind, the most common cognitive changes women experience and the lifestyle and evidence based strategies that can help protect and strengthen your brain for years to come. So, to guide us through all of this, I'm joined by Dr. Sandra Belfry, a clinical neuropsychologist and clinical psychologist. She's also the founder of Menolink, Connecting the Dots. She's a clinical director of the Women's Menopause and Brain Health Clinic at Lifespan and a clinical director at Lifespan Psychological and Neuropsychological Services Healthy Aging and Dementia Clinic. Dr. Belfry, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
I'm very, very excited to speak to you about this because there's a lot of women who email me and ask about their brain and brain fog and everything else. So let's just begin. What does a clinical neuropsychologist and clinical psychologist do?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that because a lot of times when people are referred to me, they don't even know why they're there or what they're there to see me for. And so I do like to start always by explaining that. And so a clinical psychologist diagnoses mental health conditions like depression or anxiety disorders, and then uses a talking therapy. People have heard of cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT or IPT, to help treat those conditions. And then a clinical neuropsychologist actually looks at the various aspects of our thinking skills. So we measure things like memory skills, attention skills, executive function, language function. And we look at all those skills in order to assess and diagnose conditions of the brain, which could be traumatic, like a brain injury, or non traumatic, like a medical condition, such as a neurodegenerative condition like Alzheimer's disease or
Okay.
dementia.
So, what led you to specialize in neuropsychology with a focus on women's brain health and healthy aging?
Um, it's an interesting question because I've had sort of two paths in my career, but I've always been very interested in sexual health and health education and dementias and aging. And so I've always kind of flipped between the two, and had a lot of passion for helping people without a voice. And so that caused me to spend a lot of time working with seniors and people with dementias. And over the years and becoming a psychologist, I started in Burlington a healthy aging and dementia clinic, which I've had for about 15 years at Lifespan Psychology. And what's happened more recently since COVID is the referrals I get from physicians and neurologists are getting younger and younger. And at the same time, I'm approaching perimenopause, going through it and menopause. And I'm noticing I'm getting a lot of younger women who are middle aged sent to me with cognitive complaints. And so I realized how the two things were merging and really needed to be addressed in tandem. So I started a new clinic, a women's menopause and brain health clinic, but also spent a lot of time researching in the past few years and kind of re-educating myself about hormonal health and how it impacts healthy aging.
And I think this is really important because growing up, there's no one there to guide us and tell us about this. It's always been taboo. And
That's
I
right.
remember when I first started talking about menopause and perimenopause back in May 2023, no one was really talking about it on TV. It was still a bit of a taboo. So, what I want to ask you now was how has your personal experience shaped your understanding of menopause related cognitive and mood changes?
Yeah, well, I didn't really have anything to expect in that regard. So I thought, I'm going to get hot flashes, and that was there'd be changes in your cycle. But I was surprised when other things started happening, and I could notice timing and spoke with my doctor. And really, because I had some unique experiences and some common ones too, I had a difficult perimenopause overall. And so that just really caused me to stop, pause, and take a look at, what are we doing in mental health that's recognizing these reproductive health transitions?
And I think this is really, really important. When we come back, I would like to talk about Menolink. I want you to explain to me what Menolink is and how it's going to help women of all ages. So please don't go away.